Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the ROG RYOU 240. Now the 240 just basically means it can fit two 120mm fans on it. So it's a 240 rad. An all-in-one, basically what that means is the pump, the hoses, the radiator, everything's already put in together, so all you have to do is mount it to your case and to your motherboard. If you do a custom loop, then you have to buy all those parts separately, including a reservoir, where here the radiator and the hoses kind of act as a reservoir. The other one is quite more expensive, the custom loop. It could run anywhere from $300 to several $100s, depending if you go with hardline tubing, glass, PPG, whatever. But these ones, they are a lot more reasonable. We already installed this one and looked at it. This one's about 80 bucks brand new right now, 90 somewhere if you look in certain places. Now this one could run upwards of $200. The radiator is all aluminum and the block is copper. There's an issue there with mixed metals. Now, all-in-one liquid coolers for your CPU made by these manufacturers, they know this already. They're not stupid. So they basically add an anti-corrosive to the mix of the distilled water, anti-growth inhibitors, whatever, to make sure that that doesn't really become a problem. Yes, you can get some pretty nasty stuff on the CPU block itself, but usually that's way down the road if you maintain your system, you know, constantly, not constantly, but like several months, 6 months, a year or so, take it off, clean it. Now, if you're not sure of the product, you've seen reviews, you got some mixed reviews, then I'd say every 30 days for like the first 3 months, take it off, clean it, see how it's doing. After that, you can start breaking it down every 6 months or so. Now for this case, yes, NZXT does make a 280. So 280 would be the 140mm fans. Basically the same ones that are in the front. I could reuse them if I wanted to, even though they're not static pressure. Real quick, these fans. Now you've seen those style of fans, all these blades, which is usually about 8 blades, and they got a lot of curvature to them. This is airflow, case optimized airflow, case optimal airflow design. What this does is it just pulls a lot of air in. Now the other fans, they're a lot fatter than those, and there's about 7 blades on them. Blades are a lot fatter, they're a lot closer together, and there's only about 7 of them. These fans are optimized to just literally push as much air as they can through your radiator. Just like the radiator in your car, it has fins. And depending on the radiator you bought, the fins density could be really thick or minimal, where you can actually like see through it on one end. I'll show you when we take this one out. They're not really that thick from what I've seen. You want a fan that's going to be able to push through those fins to cool down the radiator and the water inside the radiator, or pull the heat out of the radiator, so that way your CPU could stay at cooler temps. The tubes are sleeved rubber. The fans are called RYOU fan model 12s. They're 2500 RPM, and they say they have a dBA of about 37. Now, the reason why one would go with an AIO is the more quiet option compared to these. The ones that come with your CPU, or the ones you could buy like the Noctuas and Cooler Masters and all that, because these you will always hear them. They're always ramping up, slowing down, ramping up, slowing down. They work perfectly fine. There's a lot of air style coolers that are way better than any AIO on the market. If you're doing it for just looks, don't give more than $70, $80 and get something like this, because this has the infinity logo. It's very pretty, it's nice, but all in all, it acts more like this. Sometimes this is actually better. If you're going for a little bit better cooling, you're looking for this. The sockets. AMD AM4, TR4, Threadripper. It says, I think it uses the same back plate, but it'll be all in the instructions for you. For LGA, it's 11.5X, LGA 1366, LGA 2011, LGA 2011-3, LGA 112066. It comes with a 3-year warranty. I picked this one up January of 2021 at Micro Center. I gave $199.99. On Amazon, they're $180. I will have the things you see here down in the description. Should take you straight to Amazon, and you can pick them up there if you want. Just remember, full disclosure, we do get a small commission if you buy anything using our link. Also, this does support Aurora Sync. So let's open it up, see what it comes with. I like the way it opens. Check it out. Republic of Gamers. Welcome to the elite Republic of Gamers community. Here's our fans. And of course you get 2 of them. And the pretty cool thing is, I'll show you again, but right in the middle, it's got the ROG symbol. I think that's the AIO'S is supposed to be, or RAW, I'm not sure. In the corner, it says Republic of Gamers. There's no rubber here to help with noise dampening or vibration. See your bag of goodies. Quick start guide, our CPU block, and radiator. Be careful when you're taking this out. This has a cap over it for a reason. It has thermal paste already applied. Mine looks a little cruddy for some reason. I don't know why. So here's your 2 fans, your bag full of stuff, your CPU block, and your radiator. Notice how you can see through? See that? Yeah, and there's no refill that I see on here, so you cannot refill this. We have a USB 2.0 header, USB. This is the back plate. This is gonna go behind your motherboard. This is what's gonna lock onto. This is, I think this is the Intel bracket, I'm not sure. Might be. AM4. This is to use your OLED screen. You don't put this, you don't get it. Coming off of the CPU block itself, this is your SATA power right here from your power supply. These are for your fans, and this is for your CPU, the pump header or whatever. You're gonna put this in the pump header, excuse me. If you're going Intel, you're gonna be using these guys right here. Do not throw away what you're not going to use. Please don't. Just put back what you don't use back in your box. If you sell it, whatever, you have it. If you change platforms, you go to Intel for some reason, you got it. Our quick start guide. So yeah, this is just gonna tell you package contents. This is the AMD mountain bracket right here. The other one is Intel. See, all those in the other bag, this one's for your 115X 1366. This is for the LGA 2011, 2011-3, or 2066. So it'll tell you exactly what bolts you need for your socket. All right, quick, make sure you have a toolkit, magnetic dish, your instructions. We're going to start with the back. And while you're doing this, you might as well clean filters or anything else you gotta do. Get it done now. Number 1 important thing, never forget to put this on. I was in such a hurry, I totally forgot. Make sure you push that in, hear it snap, and pull out our graphics card like so. And you want to make sure you put everything in a safe place. The reason why we took the back of our PC off, the back plate, a lot of case manufacturers will have a nice big cutout, so you don't have to remove the motherboard to put a back plate on. So all we gotta do is put it right there, and that's all. You know, even if you're doing a new build, don't put the AIO on until the motherboard and everything is in. That way it's easier. You don't want to do this while trying to put the motherboard in at the same time. Just put your motherboard in first, get to this step, then go forward. All right, let's cut some zip ties. Be very careful. You don't want to cut the wires. Be very careful. I should put a new blade. This is a hook blade, by the way. If you're interested, you can buy hook blades at Home Depot or at a roofing supply. I'll find them online. I'll put a link down below. There'll be links for all this stuff down below. These are great because you're not doing this. You go in, you hook, you pull back. So you'll be able to see what you're actually hooking into. Make sure you have zip ties, tweezers, whatever you want to call them, Velcro straps. Make sure you have something to tidy up, whatever. So in the back over here, towards the top. Here's a little clasp. If you put your PC together, you'll know it. Pull up, that snap, push down on the hook. Now, listen, after you take that off, do not just pull up. I've seen CPUs come right out sticking to the thermal paste on the bottom of the block. After you take that off, do this. Go back and forth with it, give it a little jiggle. A little bit of twist and off. Alright, you can clean it right where it's at. We're gonna be using alcohol anyways. Let's clean off our AIO'S. Got our alcohol and got this. Now, you can buy a special cleaner for cleaning off thermal paste. Coffee filter is #1 thing you should use. Regular dish paper, toilet paper, whatever. It leaves a lot of lint, and lint to get all over your motherboard. Not a good thing. I'm not really gonna clean it over my system, so don't do that. Clean it away from your system. There's no reason to do that at all. There you go. Now, if you have stronger alcohol, it probably clean it a lot better, but that's still good. It cleaned it off well. And if you are not comfortable with cleaning the CPU inside of the socket, take it out. You know, I say the less you take your CPU out over time, the better, but take it out. You know how to do it. Pull back the latch, pull it out, and clean it, and then put it back. So just fold it up, you know, that way you got some absorption going on. And starting to see that Ryzen logo. Let's see if we can get a zoom for you. Right there. So now that that's done, we do not need the AMD hook brackets anymore. Don't forget, guys, there's timestamps in the bottom, so don't throw away nothing when it comes to your computer, guys. Let's take out all the extra wires that we don't need anymore. Okay, so now that we have it cleaned out, everything took out that we need took out. Now it's just a matter of putting our new components in the computer. I'm gonna pack it up for tonight because it is kind of late. Aiden's crashed, and I'll see you guys. Well, for you guys it'll be a moment. For me it'll be the next day. And movie magic, it's tomorrow. Basically, what we're gonna be doing today is installing the AIO. Let's move our lights a little bit closer. Let's set up our work area, and let's get this thing on the computer, because last night I had to use the Optiplex, and that was not fun because the Optiplex is only good for YouTube and some other little things. So let's get our computer fixed. Don't forget, you have thermal compound on here. They do not come with a little tube anymore like they used to, which I think sucks because people make mistakes. I make mistakes, you make mistakes. I do not like the way this looks. Can you see that? Can you see where it looks like it was smeared with a finger? So what you want to do here is hold the block towards you like this. Put the block in your hand, the brace, turn it counterclockwise. Put the block to the side. So look, this is a nice pretty side. It's flush, it's pretty. You don't want that facing like this. You want it opposite side. See it? Take this, like this, click it in. Now don't forget, you have thermal compound on here. This will not fit back on here anymore. Make sure when you place it down, you put something in between to make sure it doesn't touch the floor, or the table you're working on, excuse me. Now it wants us to remove the back plate that was originally on our computer. The hook for the original Spire cooler goes. We already did that. If you haven't, do it now. Go in, here, I'll show you on the instructions. Remove these from your motherboard, because that's what that bracket is we just put on for. That's gonna go against the back plate. This is our back plate, as you can see. Now, if you look at the edges, these slide in and out depending on which bracket you're going to use. Okay, I digress. We're going to be using our original backplate. My bad, I apologize. First time I've used this one. So let's go get our original backplate back out of our motherboard box. What you can do is try a test fit with your GPU in place to see if you could go tubes down. It probably will be in a lot more than this, but here we go. So yeah, real quick. This is the way you want it to look. Just in case I confused you out there, confused myself, that's how you want your AMD brackets to look. You want these like this with the Republic Gamers right there. Go like this. Don't kink them, whatever you do. You want to make sure that, Lord, the pump is above the hoses that go into the radiator. Lined up is being down here, you're gonna get those gurgling noises. You're gonna do some swishy swashy. When I did it like this, the CPU is gonna be, the block is gonna be under like this. It won't blow up your computer. You just get ugly noises, and you're gonna have to shake your radiator, your whole computer, excuse me, whenever you get those noises, just to try and move the bubbles around best as you can. Now that we have this out of here, it's off to the side. So this is my crazy plan. I should have never took these off. I'm gonna leave these, put them back the way they were, put the radiator, and then put the other fans behind. So I'm gonna have a push-pull configuration. It should be fine, no big deal. If you're not going crazy, you can still follow along. Just do the other steps. Organization is key. Getting screws, putting washers. When I went to Micro Center, they didn't have any 280s, so I grabbed this one. I'm just talking if I decide to put the other 140s back in the front to help draw in some more cool air. All right, now that we got those, let's put our radiator on our bracket. Just get your bracket, make sure it's the right way. You know, make sure your tubes are facing the right way down. And this is the side with the two screws, the thumb screws that you to loosen to take from the case. So make sure you have all that right, and grab yourself a couple of screws. So I'm not gonna tighten these because I wanna do another test fit to see exactly where I might want this. So I'm just gonna put one there. I'm gonna put one here in the bottom left. So this way it's there, and look, you can move it all you want. Yeah, I know I kind of grinded up the fins, but no big deal. It's not gonna hurt nothing. Don't tighten too much because you don't want the screw actually hitting into the radiator. So just hand tight. And I'm gonna go do a test fit and see how I fit. I'll be right back. Okay, so my test fit was good. And then we're gonna finish putting in all our screws. We're not gonna leave some out. We're gonna put all our screws. And once you feel it tighten, give it a little bit more. That's it. You know, once you feel it stop when you're screwing it in, give it just that little bit extra. We're gonna go, it's gonna stop, a little more, done. This is not a car. You're not putting on a tire that might fly off. It's a radiator and fans. As long as the block is mounted properly to your CPU, you can leave this outside the case. Literally, you can leave it outside the case. You go get a piece of block of wood, make a stand, drill it in, and it's done. You could take this, put it on top of your case. It doesn't matter. So just do your best to do it right, of course, but don't get all twisted up about it and bent out of shape. You're gonna take the longer screw, excuse me, this long screw, put it through here, straight through. Good shots. We're gonna do that in 4 corners. So using the long screws, going through the fan into the radiator. If you're screwing in and you feel it stop abruptly and you still have threads left, stop screwing. Use a washer because you're hitting the radiator at that point. Again, just a little bit of a turn. As soon as it stops, just give it a little bit more. I like those ones where it's the magnet, they click and they get their power through the magnet. Jay has a video on those. They're actually very hot. I like them a lot. Another thing, do not forget that if you see the blades clear and you can see the logo, this is the way that the air is gonna go. If you see the bars, this is the way it's gonna pull the air. It's not like a house fan where this is the way that'll blow air at you. It's the opposite. They usually have arrows to tell you this. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I've never had fans with the arrows telling me which way the air goes, but I've never had it. Whatever. Okay, so yeah, we're going with a pull config. So we're gonna put these in the front. So basically what's gonna happen is it's gonna pull air, I'm sorry, a push config. It's gonna push air through. You could go on the other side if you want to, and that'd be a pull config. That's pretty much how it should look. Radiator on this side, this fella on this side. Let's take our screws, find a bag, put them in. It's time for a cleanup. Take our stuff like this. And because you have these sticking out like this, you wanna put them through these right here. That's why they have these little holes. See these holes? Push your wires through the holes, and then take it and put it back the way it came. Nice. You secure, and your radiator is mounted. Done. See, look, it's done. Don't have to worry about it. Nice and simple. That's kind of why I wanted to work with this. I wanted to do that you're not holding fans and trying to sandwich and do. I like the bracket. Okay, we got our bag labeled AM4 right here. We have our AM4 bracket. So once they're in, give them a good hand tighten all the way around. There's no reason to get a tool out for this, okay? No reason. So give you guys a little zoom in on it. You want the fat end down and a little tip sticking up that's threaded right here. Now once that's in, you're pretty much ready to mount your CPU cooler. And it's on. And here are our thumbnail. I'm doing it again. Here's our thumb screws, just like this. And you see the side with the Phillips? I bet you can't guess which side this goes on. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I really don't like the application on my block. Like, seriously. So I'm going to clean this off and use some other thermal compound. And then I'll readjust this. I kind of went in wrong. So I'm going to fix that now, and that's just nasty. So let me clean it off, put on some better thermal compound. Okay, block is clean. I'm happy with it. Let's take this off. And let's line this up a little bit better. We want it right there. A lot of trial and error, people. We are still good. We're still good. All right. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. If you had to do thermal compound on yours, clean off your fingers because you don't want to get the compound everywhere. It's a very messy little stuff. Well, like on your stuff. Like see on your nice wires, your hoses. I usually go right where the Z is. And there we go. A bit much actually. And now let's take our CPU thing, our blocky block. Let's do this again. And remember, we want to go in a crisscross pattern. Let's just get all 4 of them on, threaded, not tight, just get them on there. Now let's start going down. So take that one down a little bit, take this one down a little bit, take this one down a little bit, take this one down. Oh, that one didn't go down. Take that one down a little bit. Alright, just tighten it. You know, once it logs down, give it a good little bit around. I say about a quarter-ish turn more. Just make sure they're all nice and snug tight. And that's it. CPU cooler is installed. Okay, now with that in, let's start handling some wires. This is our SATA wire. We're gonna have to find our power supply wires for that. This is the 4-pin. This is the one you want to connect first. This goes to the Y split. This is for the included fans or whatever fans you have. So find your pump header on your motherboard. It'll say AIO pump, and it should be a 4-prong, and it can only go in one way because these wires have grooves. Plug that in. See what I have here, what I could do. Got that in for now. I'll switch a little bit more later. And since those wires are finally on the other side, let's turn our case around. Let's see if we can find our wires we stuck through. Here they are, right here. So these are our fan wires. Now we could take these and put them into the cam software. Doesn't really matter. Plug the 4 in first, then plug in this right here. Alright, there it goes. Like I said, the cable. Don't know why it came to the top. What was going through my mind? But just try to get your wires tightened up. Don't sit here and pull these with pliers, you know what I mean? Because you don't want your wires getting kinked. So just make sure they're on. That's it, to hold them in place best as you can. This is your USB mini. Oop, they went flying away. Hold on, I'll be right back. So, your USB 2.0 header right here. You can't miss it. It's got greens and blues and reds. Plug this into a 2.0 header on your board. This plugs right onto the CPU block, the new one. So plug this in first. Take it, go around the board, and come out through the bottom. That way, less wire management. A lot easier. So just slide it through the top hole. USB mini right here. Then I'm going to come out through the bottom and plug it in. That's it. So just right here. And ran it from underneath. Put everything back, our graphics cards, our RAMs, everything. And fire it up and see how it works. Alright, be back with you guys with it running. Hopefully. Alright, see you guys in a minute.
like a family.
If you're watching this video because you bought this AIO and you're having issues installing it or don't know where something goes, hopefully you were able to find it in this video. Now, if you want to put your own JPEG in there or a GIF, whatever, it has to be a certain dimension, the pixels and what have you. It tells you right there when you go into Armory Crate. That's where you can control the OLED screen. You can control the RGB that goes around the plate, and you can control your pump and, you know, mess around with this. And remember, down in the description there'll be links to all the products I was talking about. Just check down below. Remember that we do get a small commission if you do buy anything off of the Amazon links. I'm not sure how much it is, so. And do us a favor and don't forget to like and subscribe this video if you liked it. We do put a lot of time and effort into these videos, so we really do appreciate. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope some questions got answered. Thanks again for watching. See you guys next time. Late.